get to check out some of the fish that might be going into the Reef LX. I have Alex here. He's going to show us through the fish system. How big is this? It's a pretty extensive wall going down here.
Yeah, our fish system's pretty big. The whole thing combined is about 2,500 gallons. So you know, we split it up. There's 4 main fish systems, and that's going to keep most of the fish, and then the last 2 at the end are inverts, and I guess what you would say like invert friendly fish and stuff like that. So stuff that, you know, can't go through as harsh of a medication as like the rest of the stuff can, your wrasses, your gobies, stuff like that.
Speaking of medicating, so whenever you're bringing in fish, of course you've got to be cautious. Disease, that they're healthy. What steps do you go through when you get fish in to make sure that you're fighting all that?
So first and foremost, when we get them in, obviously they go through a visual inspection before they even get tanked, because we do have kind of systems separated where we can medicate a specific fish if we see something. All the fish systems run copper full time, so 24/7, there's always copper in the tanks. On top of that, whenever we get a shipment in, we dose the aquariums with something called Quick Cure. And that's to kind of knock anything back that could have come in.
Nice.
And then on top of that, we do all our routine maintenance, so freshwater dips, you know, things of that sort. But yeah, we try to stay on top of the fish pretty good. And you know, that's pretty much what we got going on when it comes to the medication.
Yeah, so a lot of just monitoring, going through all your medicating processes. And then, of course, you know, when someone's coming to pick out a fish, we're checking that they're healthy, eating.
Absolutely. So, you know, when you guys come in, or if anybody ever comes in, the crew will always help you out in terms of selection, in terms of selecting that specific fish, making sure it's healthy. One of the big things, and this is for everyone, if you're ever at your local fish store, whatever it may be, always ask them to feed the fish. That's like a big thing.
Yes.
A healthy fish is a fish that's eating. So that's a big one. We make sure to feed them and that they're doing good before they go to their new home. And then we help the customer throughout the process, making sure the fish fits their needs, obviously. You know, we don't want to sell somebody a Naso tank for a 20-gallon tank or things of that sort. So.
And that keeps people, you know, you're guiding them towards the right fish, is keeping them having success in their aquarium. And then also, like you said, if the fish isn't eating, it may look fine, but it's not healthy, it's not happy, something's going on with it. You do want to skip that. You want them eating really, really well.
No, a healthy fish is definitely an eating fish.
Yes. So we're going to check out a few fish and maybe some suggestions that you have that would be great for the Reef LX. And then just also maybe some just unique fish that you have.
Absolutely. So, you know, you guys, that's a big old tank, so you can do just about anything in there. The only limiting thing is if it's a reef tank, obviously you can't do some of the non-reef safe fish, but in terms of size, you guys can do just about everything. So, you know, you can do a lot of cool tangs. Like this is a really pretty fish. That's a soul haul tang, beautiful fish.
A little nasty.
They can be a little mean sometimes,
mean.
yeah, but in a bigger tank with more tangs, usually they'll be okay.
Right.
They'll figure it out between themselves.
What is this guy? He's really cool looking.
That's a really cool fish. That's a Ring Tang, beautiful fish, yep. Beautiful fish.
Got some cool pattern to him.
Yeah, really nice color. There's some sail fins. And I love the little fish. So even though it's common stuff like Cardinals and things like that, in a big tank like that, it's so cool to have a school of little schooling fish. It just, it looks awesome. So
for tangs in general, what's the starting size to even consider getting any type of tang, even the smaller ones, like in your opinion?
You know, some of the tanks can be in smaller tanks. It really depends. Like some of the zebra-somas don't get as big. You know, some of the tanks stay a little smaller. But generally, I would say nothing smaller than like 100 and some change or 4-foot tank for any tang. That's about as small as we want to go. And then some of the tangs get really big. So, you know, let's say, I don't know, we have a Marin tang in our display. I wouldn't put that fish in anything under 8 feet. You know, that fish gets huge. So
keep those things in mind when you're choosing an aquarium, but also choosing your fish. That, you know, you need to make sure you have a large enough size. So, so like some schooling fish like the Cardinals are always great for most aquariums.
Always good. A big old tank will look cool with like a harem of clowns too. That's another really cool thing. I love a lot of the little unique fish too. Like there's some flame hawks over there. That's a really cool fish. I know everybody always likes angels, and they're not always reef safe.
Right.
But we do have some really cool reef safe angels. So like that swallowtail angel is really pretty. I love the Lamarck angel. You know, so if you want to get a reef safe fish, that helps. You know what I mean?
So the Genicanthus family of angels is a reef safe. You got like Bellis. You've got the swallowtail. A handful of others. Those are good ones to check, but they do need a good size aquarium for a lot of them.
Yeah, same thing, about a 4-foot tank at least. Yep.
But it is one of those true reef safe angels, which is really awesome addition to an aquarium.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love the little hot fish. Those are always fun in an aquarium.
Cool. Yep. We have some more Cardinals here. Again, these little blue-eyed Cardinals are really cool schooling fish. There's a lot of cool tangs in here too. So, you know, for the big tank, I think you told me you had some zebra selmas and some stuff, but I didn't hear you had a bristle tooth. So like a really nice Tomini tang. It's a really cool addition.
I do like Tomini tangs a lot. They're cool. They stay smaller. They're really good at grazing and cleaning the rock, so they're really helpful. And they do stay a little bit on the smaller side of the tanks as well.
Yeah, that's a good tank for like a smaller tank. Any other bristle tooth tanks are really good for a smaller tank.
And I know we can't have it, but you gotta just admire a beautiful, embroider angel. They completely transform their colors. They get bigger. They do get big, and they're not reef safe. So for large fish only, they're really cool. They're just one of my favorites as far as the angels go.
No, they're beautiful fish. All the big angels are just stunning. French angels, emperor angels, all of them. You know, we have some purple tangs, some of the nicer fish, some blonde nasos, some Desjardins sailfins.
You got a cool powder brown tang down here. Those are really pretty.
Yep.
Can't have them, but a nice big puffer, so cute.
Always, they're like little puppies.
So we have a lot of choices, and then some other stuff we kind of thought about is like wrasses to go into the big tank. You know, add maybe a few more tangs in there, but then a lot of like schooling fish, like we talked about Cardinals. You got pajama and our bangai, Anthias, that kind of stuff. That's just going to be nice filler for such a large open aquarium.
Absolutely.
So
no, the small fish bring in so much life, all the movement, everything. It's what makes the tanks just look absolutely stunning. So.
All right, another question.
Yes.
What is your favorite fish ever?
My favorite fish, that's a tough one. So I would say my favorite fish that I own at least is probably my tang and my big tank.
Okay.
It's like an aberrant scopus tang, so he's yellow, black, and white. So that's probably my favorite fish I own. So probably one of my favorite fish ever. So.
And we also have a gem tang here. You gotta check those out. Not something you come across too often, but a really, really cool fish.
Yeah, they're a beautiful fish. We have a really big one in the display too. He's been with me like 5 or 6 years.
Oh wow. I love tangs. There's so many different varieties. All right, so we had to take a look at the 800-gallon display they have here with some beautiful tangs in it. So I see, and we've got a Naso, an Achilles. It's so fat and beautiful. There's, you said, was
this is a Dulcimeri.
Dulcimeri, a big old gem tang.
Big old gem tang.
And your favorite right there.
Yep, that's him. That's my favorite guy.
He is so cool looking. So what causes that? Like, what is it?
I don't think anybody truly knows. That's why we just say it's an aberrant tang. You know, there's not a lot of them. It's not like you see them together. You'll never see like a school of those fish or anything like that. It's just it's a one in a million fish. You know, every once in a while one pops up, and I was lucky enough to get him years ago, and you know, he's been with me since. So
wow, he's really, really cool looking. But you know, just taking the size of some of these tanks, how big they get, realize that when you pick one out, make sure you have the right aquarium size for it.